You spoke just now about your talk with the NFL teams and all this stuff. And what are you hearing from them? Like it's maybe your like mainly quality and the primary aspect that your game that you have to develop for the next level.
Right now I think they like my effort and physicalness on plays. What I've been hearing is kind of keep working on the fundamentals, such as keeping your hands inside, feet movement, feet speed, maybe sitting down, using your hips more.
How is for you guys having a coach like Jimbo Fisher? How that being there in Texas A&M help you to develop more?
Having a coach like Coach Fisher was awesome, not just because of the scheme. Not a lot of college football players, especially O linemen, get to run like a pro style offense where you're in 3-point stance, hand in the dirt, and you're getting to move people. You got 12 personnel in there. Everyone's trying to do the spread, and it's just kind of hard for NFL teams to get a real look because they do everything there, and they don't get to see how you operate in a system like that in college if you don't have it. So Fisher, that was a big benefit. Lots of the plays we run the same plays that they run the next level, which is also like advantage for us going in there. I think his biggest thing was all about, like one of the things he preaches is grit. If that's grit from the spring ball practices or the fall camp, like we'll do 1,000 plays of goal line, just because he wants to see who's going to give up and who's going to fight. I think that definitely helps. I think that helped us this year just because it was a long season. Every week you kind of didn't know if COVID was going to cancel us or if COVID was going to let us play. So I think that helped us mentally prepare for each week to just follow the process and, just grind it out.
Because you don't have the combine, and 2020 was like a really different season for you guys. How do you think that playing the conference that you played like kind of helped you to develop for the NFL and maybe have more like value on your tape because you're playing like every year against great teams and great defense players?
Yeah, for sure. I think the conference SEC is probably one of the, it's the nicest conference in college football. You're going up against tons of good talent. Can't tell you all the guys I've gone against the past couple of years, from like Dexter Lawrence at Clemson to Simmons from Mississippi State 2 years ago. But I think it's prepared me a great deal. I think Jimbo's offense being a pro style and the SEC in general, I think it's prepared me a lot. And, I'm looking forward to the next level.
Carson and Jerry talk about a little bit about Jimbo and how the offense changed a lot with him. And for the center is probably the guy who have like most adjustment to do because it's a really new offense to play. How was for you having this kind of transition in your college career, and how do you think that prepare you for the NFL?
Greatly. It's like probably the closest thing you can get to a pro style offense in college. A lot of the same plays that we run are same plays that they run at the next level. And being able to ID those fronts and all the crazy fronts that we got this year from teams trying to stop our offensive line from being productive really helped because it makes things easier. And we change like our ID rules usually by game plan. So being able to do that week to week is going to make things easier at the next level, ideally.
The teams that you already spoke, they talk with you about maybe transition for guard or what more you can do on the offensive line, including the center position.
Yeah, absolutely. I consider myself to be like an interior offensive lineman. I don't think you're just going to play one in your NFL career. You got to be able to play both guards or center. So luckily I played guard. When I was playing guard, I was backup center, and I've played center pretty much since my sophomore year. So shouldn't be too much of a problem to transition.
You just say about how the scouts got impressed with your football IQ, but what do you think that's your main quality that an NFL team is gonna get it if they pick you?
I would just say, my leadership and, my dominance. I feel like just me, my sense of dominance on the field. I feel like everyone around me understands that, I'm always there for them. And, I know everyone around me will be there for me. So, just my leadership, making sure everyone is on the same page, having guys ready to rock and roll. Guys know they can count on me no matter what, 100% I'm behind them. So, just my leadership role and I'm very accountable.
You just say about how stuff was for you, like being the sideline and not playing last year. But what do you think that you could do improve most during this time that you don't have tape and maybe the NFL can see the day by day of your work, but you're trying to show them on these interviews and pro days and all these little meetings they're gonna have for the teams?
Main thing that, the behind the scenes thing is just that character and just, personality makeup. That's one thing that I, take pride in. Grew up in an awesome household. My parents raised me right. I just try to, reflect that in every single one of my interviews and be super respectful and just be the, the good guy that I am. So I think that's really the main thing I've been focusing on.
Buddy and Anthony talk about how the pro day worked for them and how they have the chance with talks with some teams and heard what is good in their games. What you can talk about it? How was this work? This words of these teams that maybe you have to improve. What's already good that you just have to keep it on your game and stuff like that.
I've heard for sure, just anchoring down on bull rushes, I can improve on my game. I think a lot of teams know that I have good length and I have a good punch. Just being with that more consistent in pass pro, and just being more violent with my hands in the run game.
Seeing your tape, a lot of scouts say that you're interior lineman who play in the 4-3, but you have the skills for playing maybe in a 3-4 system, being that big nose tackle is going to stop the run. Any NFL team talk to you about it? How do you think you can prepare for this like different style of game on the NFL? And how do you see yourself in this class of the defensive lineman?
Honestly, not meaning to be cocky, I think I'm the best defensive tackle in this draft. And completely wholeheartedly. But I can say I feel like I could play anywhere across the D-line. My freshman year at 325, played defensive end. Past 2 years, I played D-tackle. Anything that's asked of me or required, I can do it.
This year, we have a class with a lot of good receivers, guys who can do a bunch of things. How do you see yourself in this class, and what you think that's your like biggest quality that you're bringing for the game as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing going into this process is understanding what you can bring to the table. I'm a big physical receiver, but I look off of the physical attributes and look into preparation and routine, because as you see later in the NFL greats have a great routine. Their off the field routine is amazing, and they're very disciplined. So I've been focusing on my routine and my longevity and recovery, but what I bring to the table is a big physical presence, run every route in a route tree, press or man, or off coverage. So I've seen it all. And you know what I'm saying? I prepare to be like a pro. So I think that I will carry over pretty well.
You have the chance of going for the Senior Bowl and in my opinion, be the best quarterback on the Senior Bowl weekend game. How do you think that the chance of talk with the NFL coaches, having a real NFL coaching staff there, and have the game that you have help you for the maybe when the stock draft or for more people put an eye on you?
I think it's great just because, NFL teams talk, but also, they're able to see you in person, and not only just the way you play, but also just the way you process the game and also the way you learn. So, I say it all the time, coming from Coach Fisher's system, going to that Senior Bowl, everything was pretty much similar, just different verbiage. So the process of everything I thought went really well out there. And, I definitely thought teams were really impressed. So, after that, just, everything decided on just, my House of Athlete combine out in Florida and then, my pro day today.